Hey everybody, it's Wanda G from Transformer Lives Podcast. I'm coming before you this evening with part two of Slim Picking. What's in that dating pool? Slim Picking, Slim Picking. Let me turn this volume down just a tidbit and get some traction there. So Wanda G from Lady G, Transform My Lives podcast on YouTube and on Instagram, as well as Facebook, coming at you live tonight. And we're going to be talking about slim pickings in the dating pool, slim pickings in the dating pool. And we did part one. We did part one on last Wednesday, and we're going to do part two tonight. Part two. We had some serious inquiries. We had some beautiful people on there last night, and we were talking about slim pickings. We were talking about the dating scene. We were talking about what is in the pool, and we were also talking about the betting season. We also talked about are you prepared? And I got a lot of interesting comments back from that. So I just want to slowly but surely go back into that again and talk about what are we doing in this vetting season. I have some friends who are single and are interested in having a relationship, but they're kind of scared. They're kind of scared. Why? Why are they scared? A little bit intimidated because a lot of them are um, a lot of them are in their season years. I'm turning 60, God willing. I'm turning 60 in January, and so a lot of my friend girls are in that age group, 55, 60, and they're kind of hesitant about going into that dating pool. And I've even heard that they sometimes people make them feel like they are not worthy of being in that dating pool. And I beg to differ. I beg to differ. There is someone out there for you. Stay focused and prepare yourself for that mate. One of the biggest things that you have to do, though, is definitely prepare yourself for that mate. You have to. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You have to prepare yourself for that mate. That mate has to be drawn to you, but you also have to be preparing yourself for that mate so that mate can be drawn to you. And when you are prepared for that mate, you are preparing yourself to be one, ready, ready. And sometimes that consists of doing some things that, you know, you haven't even thought about doing. You haven't even thought about doing. One of those things could be, you need to get rid of some baggage, right? There's some baggage out there that you haven't even dealt with yet. Some baggage that you haven't dealt with. So I'm gonna tiptoe out of here in about 5 minutes and go over to my other page. But I just wanted to tell you, if you want to come on and you want to listen live, go on YouTube, find Transformer Lives podcast, Lady G, that's me, and tune in with us. I don't come over here often, and I know a lot of folks are not up and listening into this, but we got some information over here. I did a promo. I'm doing a promo over here. Come on over here on YouTube. A lot. I'm doing a promo over here on Instagram for you to come over to YouTube and listen for this. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand that when you are looking for a date, looking for a mate, that you have prepared yourself to do just that. Prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, financially. Make sure you are stable. You have stability in your life before you out there and choose to be with someone. I know a lot of people do it out of the mere fact that they're comfortable. They want to be comfortable with somebody, but yet it's really not the person that they want to be with. But they're doing it. They're doing it. And believe it or not, they're doing it just because they want somebody. And it never works out right when you're just doing it for the wrong reasons. When you're doing it for the wrong reasons. So I just wanted to say to you that it's okay to prepare yourself for that mate. And as I was sharing with someone else earlier, I was sharing with someone that my husband and I, we were together a while back. We used to be together years ago. We were boyfriend and girlfriend around the time of, let's say, we were boyfriend and girlfriend. I guess when we were 13 years old. Really didn't know what we wanted. You know how it is back then when you're going out there and you don't know what you want as a teenager. You know you like him, she like you, he like you, or she like you, or and you like her. But what what happened was it so big that I believe it was. I can truly say it was God that brought us back together years ago. And what we did, we got back together, but we vetted for a year. We vetted for an entire year. We um we decided that we're going to make sure that this is something we wanted at this time. We wanted to make sure that we understood what our each other's needs and wants and desires, what was our deal breakers. We dated and we decided that we're going to talk about you know, well, are we willing to compromise? Are we willing to compromise? Um, are we willing to compromise? Are we willing to compromise? That's important. It's important when you're in a relationship to compromise. And it can't be about you all the time. It just cannot be about you all the time. Um, all the time. And you don't want to compromise. So compromise is one of the biggest things in a relationship. You have got to want to compromise and be able to compromise and be able to take the high road sometimes, right? And even sometimes when you're in a relationship and you're vetting, you're getting to know that person. You must understand that that person is going to show you a piece of them. They might be wearing a mask for the first 3 months. You have to get to see them when they're angry, when they're sad, and not only when they're sad, but when they're happy. Now, how do they deal with sadness? How do they deal with their anger? Do they talk about their anger? Do they talk through their anger? Or they suppress it? Are they one of them people that sit back and just don't want to talk about it, go into a shell? That means that person might lack some communication skills, right? Are you here to help them with that, help them get through that process? How long have they been in that place of not being able to communicate and express themselves freely? And when you're in dating, when you're dating and you have a goal to go up to marry that person, you must understand that you're taking on all of them. You have to accept them for who they are. By no means should you be trying to change them. No means you should be trying to change them. There is no way you should be trying to change that person. I'm going to keep saying that. I am going to keep saying that. As there is no way you should be trying to change that person at all. At all. If you find that you're in the vetting season and that person, you see some things about that person and you express that to that person loves you enough to want to change. But by no means you go in thinking I'm gonna change that person. I'm gonna change that person. Because that's a given no. That's definitely a no, and a no. I'm gonna say that over again. Don't go in trying thinking you're gonna change that person because you cannot change that person at all. If you find that you are dealing with some things with that person, right? And that person, you all have a communication, to discuss certain things. You're discussing certain things. You are compromising. You got to know what your deal breakers are, because there's small, minute things that you may think is a big thing, but that person may think, oh, that's why you. I don't understand why you don't care to do this or do that, or why don't you like this and why don't you like that. Uh, sometimes it's not up for discussion. I just simply don't want to, and that's the deal breaker. Does he or she? How is she with housekeeping? How is she or he with cooking? How is he or she her relationship with her mom, her dad, her children? Is he taking care of his children? Is he a part of their life? All of those are important factors to being in a relationship. How does he handle stress? How does he handle um, deadlines? How does he handle his finances? I apologize. That's my dog. I apologize. How does he handle those things? It is important. It is important for you to know those things and see whether you're willing to deal with them. But you got to remember that what you won't deal with, he may not deal or she may not deal with the things that you want them to deal with as well. All about compromising. I'm gonna go into this a little bit about yes, I'm a born again. I'm a Christian. Period. Point blank, and I don't hide that. So if there's some folks on here that are watching this and they aren't Christians, I do apologize. But I have to come into the word a little bit and talk about what kind of person should you date. First and foremost, you should be equally yoked, right? First and foremost, you should be with somebody who has the same religion that you have or the same spiritual background that you have, whatever that may be on one accord. Be on one accord. Make sure that you are with someone who is equally yoked. Because if you guys have two different backgrounds in religion or spirituality, it's not going to work. Because you got two different forces coming at each other, and you can't be like this. You can't be like this. You're going to eventually separate. Why? Because your beliefs are different. I wholeheartedly believe in that. I wholeheartedly believe in that aspect of you not being able to come to grip on a lot of things. Why? Because you all are not going to be able to come together. It can't be just your way. If you guys don't believe in the same thing, believe me, somebody has to convert or somebody has to get away. One of the two. It is not going to be a good relationship when you come down to it because your beliefs are going to be your beliefs, his or her belief is going to be his or her belief. So you have to, number one, walk on one accord. You have to walk on one accord. You have to have the same belief or you're not going to be able to flourish in that relationship. It's going to be one-sided because if the man is a dominant person, he knows his role as a leader, he's most definitely should be dating somebody who is on his same spirituality roadmap. It's just as plain as simple. It's just as plain as simple. And I say that with a lot of conviction because I truly believe that my husband and I know when we came back together, I had to make sure that we believed in the same thing. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that when someone is interested in you or you're interested in someone else, and I'm going to say, they say a man who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor in the eyes of the Lord. And that simply means that when a man finds a wife, he is finding something that God says, I like this, I love this, and I will give you favor throughout your life. So I'm a true believer in a man finding a wife, but I also know that there's times when a woman sometimes, will find someone interested, she's interested in it, and may make the first move. I don't have any qualms about that at all. I don't have that. To each his own. To each his own. There have been some times in my life that I dated men and I was interested in them, and you know, I made the first move. It's like that sometimes. But a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. Um, so I just wanted to make sure that you are teamed up with somebody who is equally yoked with you, and walks in the same light you're walking in, with your spirituality. Otherwise, you'll find yourself separating. You find yourself separating because it's not going to work. There's going to be a dominant person in that, and who really, really feels like their relationship is more important, and you ought to be respecting my relationship just like I respect yours. So I don't understand that, but it is what it is. And by no means don't be with somebody who just want to say for the mere fact that they believe in what you believe in, or okay, yeah, I'll go along with it when it's not there and they don't really believe it, right? You don't want that person because um, you can find yourself going in separate directions. Um, I say to make sure that you are really preparing yourself for this dating scene, because I was told that, you know, it is better to seclude yourself, put yourself in seclusion when you are preparing yourself for that mate. You may not want to go along with the dating scene. You may not want to date just yet. You want to prepare yourself for that mate. Okay? All right? How are your finances? Because if you got standards, you got to make sure that you can meet the same standards that you're asking for. So if you're not making a certain amount of money, unless this man is okay with you making less, you should be at least making the same amount, if not more. Vice versa to the woman as well. If the men, are you asking for women to cook? You know, there are some women out there that may say, I want you to cook too. Are you prepared for that? I want us to be able to get both of us to be able to get in this kitchen and cook. Are you prepared for that? Or are you just, that's a deal breaker? I don't cook. I don't cook. That's the deal breaker for me. I need my woman to be in the kitchen. I need my woman to stay home. I want her to be a stay home wife. Women, are you okay with that? Or do you want a slight bit of your independence and you want to go to work? You know, I like working. You know, I want to work until I'm 62. At least I want to work until then, because that's something I enjoy doing. Now, if my husband told me, no, I want you to stay home, I don't think that's like a deal breaker for me, because that's something I enjoy doing. Um, what if he wants you just to be pregnant, just have babies after babies after babies? Are you prepared? These are the conversations you need to have, because I dare say, to say yes to something you really don't mean yes to. Why do that? Why even put yourself in that position just to say yes, just to get that person? It's gonna come out later on. It's definitely gonna come out later on. You're gonna be like, the relationship is not gonna flourish because you went in it, right, with some untruth, right? You went in it with basically lying about it. And make sure that you are dating. You ask the questions: are we exclusive? Are we exclusive? Are we dating just? Are we exclusive? We Are we dating just us? You know, are we, are we just dating us? You know, or are you dating other people? That just make sense? I hear some interference on Facebook. Let me know if you guys hear the interference. Let me know if you hear some interference. Gonna try. Yep. There we go. As I was saying, make sure that you are with that person because you are willing to. Um, Compromise. Make sure you're willing to compromise. Make sure you're willing to, you know, be exclusive. I think it's a distraction when you're dating more than one person. I really do. I believe it's a distraction. So I feel as though that when you're vetting, it should be exclusive that you and that person, so you can focus on what your needs are, what your desires are, um, and what you desire from that mate, and where you're going at in the future. Where you're going at. Where are you going at in the future? Um, where are you going at in the future? Um, we talked about last week. We talked about trying to withhold yourself. It is very easy to get into a relationship, and it's based on your emotions, and it's based on you giving yourself freely um, with sex. We talked about that. And sometimes sex can get in the way of a relationship, a very um, healthy relationship, because when you start off with sex, you normally, that's sometimes what the relationship is based on, is sex. And sometimes you have a cloud over your head and over your eyes when you having sex with the person that you're dating. It is, I'm going to say, I'm not going to say sometimes, I'm going to say it is best to withhold from sex, at least until you're married, at least until you have made that commitment. There's no cloudiness in your judgment. You know what you want. It's not based on sex alone. And sometimes they give you a sense of pride when you are in a relationship and you have withheld yourself. Because if it don't work out, at least you say, I still got my I still got my pride. I didn't give anything up to that person. Don't be disappointed if you're in the vetting season and it doesn't work out. Don't be disappointed if it doesn't work out. Within 3 to 5 months, you should know whether you guys are going to be moving forward. You should be knowing, you should know if you're going to be moving forward after 4 to 5 months. You should be knowing that this is going somewhere. After 4 or 5 months, I don't see, if you don't see it going anywhere, you see that you guys can't compromise, you see that, he has taken, okay, husband says too much echo. Okay, what about this now, husband? Let me know what you can hear. Um, and what I'm saying is, you haven't given up anything. You haven't given up anything. And if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. It just does not work out for you. And sometimes it doesn't work out. That doesn't mean that the vetting season is over with and that you can't be with anyone else. Just sometimes breathe, give yourself a breather to decide that, you know, um, give myself a breather before, anyone else comes at me. If they come at me, I got to give myself some time to relinquish myself from this other person that I just dated. Um, God has a mate for you. In Genesis 2:18, it says, "And the Lord God said, it isn't good for man to be alone. I will make a companion for him, a helper suited to his needs." So if you have a desire to have a mate, don't give up on the word of God. Men or women, um, take it to the Lord and pray about it. Take it to the Lord and pray about it, because his word in Genesis 2:18 said it's not good for a man to be alone. So therefore he has someone for you. Um so in Proverbs 9:14, it also says a father can give his sons homes and riches, but only the Lord can give them understanding wives. Wow. 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 So the Lord can give you an understanding wife. And I truly believe I'm one of those wives. I'm one of those wives. I'm one of those wives. I can say that I'm one of those wives. But I just came on here. I don't see any of my folks on here that was on here last week, who said that they will be on here this week, and sometimes that happens when you get folks that are have other commitments, and that's okay. And hopefully they can go back and they can look at this and maybe give some feedback to it. But I just wanted to get some more revelation on, what we talked about last week and possibly get them to get some input. Um, so we talked about deal breakers, we talked about communication, we talked about being emotionally ready. We talked about being financially ready. We talked about deal breakers. And those are the things that are part of the vetting, which is dating, vetting someone and getting to know that person. After 3 months, you should be able to know how that person reacts when they're sad, when they're happy, well, more so when they're sad and they're angry. That's important because we all want everybody to be happy, right? But so you want to know how that person handles, rejection, handle sadness, handle disappointment, handle anger, and how are emotionally stable are they? And you should know that within 6 months of dating that person and decide if this is somebody I can be with. Because everybody doesn't have emotional intelligence, man or woman. Some people can't deal with they don't know how to deal with their emotions, and that's not a good thing. That's not you're not if you're not a licensed psychiatrist or psychologist, that's not your job to try to fix them either. Go do your homework. There's some bag If you got baggage, do your homework, take it to the Lord, do some journaling, make sure that you're taking care of you before you allow anybody in your space. I'm gonna say that again. Make sure you're taking care of you before you allow anyone in your space. It is important. It is important. It is important. You have to release some of those soul ties that you have had with other men or women. Release, ask God to break those soul ties, because if not, if that relationship didn't work out, 9 times out of 10, and you keep attracting the same type of man, the same type of woman, it's because those soul ties are still there. Ask for better, ask for different, ask for godly men and women in your life. Ask for somebody who's after God's heart. And you can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that. I can say that with so much boldness. You can't go wrong with that when you do that. Um, and then you got to remember that if you guys aren't spiritually in tune, it is not going to work out. If you guys are walking one way in spirituality and the other one is walking in another way with their spirituality, it's 9 times out of 10 you're going to have discord. You're gonna have discord because one believes in this, one believes in that, one wants this, one wants that. And who's gonna be the dominant religion that says no, it's gonna happen like this? And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Walk on one accord. Make sure that you're walking with someone who believes in what you believe in. It'll work out so much better because your spirituality is on one accord. Um, it is 9:28. I typically stay on at 9 to 10 o'clock. Um, and you want to date someone. I want to just put out a few more things. You want to date somebody who is supportive of you, who encourages you. Um, and you want to be able to somebody who can compliment you. And I mean compliment you in such a way that, they know what you like. You know what she likes, you know what he likes, and they compliment you with it. They know what your love language is. This is something you love to do, something that you like, something that you care to do. All of these are love languages. Are you one that like to hold hands in public? That's love language. Are you one that like to kiss in public? That's love language. If you like to um be showered with flowers. That's love language. What is your love language? Teach that other person that you're vetting what your love language is. Do you like to be called on the phone just during the day? You know? Do you leave sticky notes all over the house to say I love you, or a little love note on the bathroom uh mirror, so when that person wakes up in the morning, they can see how you're loving on them first thing in the morning. Different things. These are called love language. What's your love language? Does that person know it? Does that person gravitate to your love language? These are the things you want to do in the vetting season. Slim pickings. They say it's slim pickings out there, but I beg to differ. I'm sure that there's somebody out there for you. I believe somebody is out there for you. I dare to believe that there are slim pickings out there today. So I just truly, truly believe that the vetting season, don't be no cuddle buddy. Don't be no cuddle buddy. The seasons are coming where they do a lot of cuddling, and up because it's getting ready to get cold, and folks are doing a lot of cuddling, and then when the season breaks off, she or he is gone on about their business because it's getting warm. They don't need you no more. They don't need your warm place or your warm bed anymore. Take some pride in who you are and whose you belong to. Don't let any man, you know, talk sweet nothings to you. I remember that word from back in the day. Oh, they tell you what they want you to hear, they what you want to hear. And you can truly, when somebody's trying to tell you, what you want to hear. Don't be one of those women who sit back and believe anything and all things the man say, right? You gotta take him for his word for what it is, right? But you also gotta make sure that he's a man of his word, right? You got to make sure that those small things, those minute small things that he says that he's going to do during the vetting season, make sure that you're taking note when he doesn't do them. Taking note when he does do them. Okay, because these are the same behaviors you're going to get as you branch on. You go more and more and more, and end with that relationship. If it's 6 months into a year, if he told you he's going to call you at 2 o'clock but yet he didn't call you to the next day, that's a behavior. Take note of that behavior. It may even get worse. If he tells you he's going to come pick you up for lunch and you don't hear from him, that's a behavior. And he didn't even remember that he told you that. That's a behavior. If oh, my bad, I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay, you get 2 strikes with me. You need to tell him that, not 3, 2 strikes. Okay, take note of that. Put it in the back of your mental thought process and say, that's a behavior. If he doesn't pay his bills or she doesn't pay her bills on time, that's a behavior. They constantly asking you for money. That's a behavior. They're not responsible. They're not responsible. If they constantly come to you and tell you that, these sad stories, I mean, that, you know what? I'm just going to put it out there. It's a manipulative spirit. There's a bunch of manipulative spirits out here, right? People tell you stuff that they want you want to hear. Not only that, they feed and they play on your emotions, right? I mean, a manipulative spirit just tells stories for no reason, just no reason at all, right? You want to make sure that you are vetting these people. And when you see them signs, you ought to have a line, the pros and the cons about this person. The pros and cons about this person. If the cons outweigh the pros, girl, send him on his way. Man, send her on her way. Why would you want to be with somebody when the cons outweigh the pros? Sit back and say, okay, the pros over here is that one, he pays his bills on time. That's a good one. Oh, but the con over here is that he don't keep his word. Which one is the deal breaker? You want somebody who pays that bill and know he will pay yours once y'all get together or get married, but yet he doesn't keep his word. He constantly throw you false promises, weak promises, watered down promises. You gotta say which one works better for you. Don't try to change him. I'll say this again. Don't try to change him. Make sure that you're going into these relationships and you're not going in or I can change him with that thought process because you can't. You can't change it. No one. They have want to change. Gotta. But what are the things that you can do though? I can say this in the vetting season. One of the things that you can do is to make sure that you tell them what the behaviors and what you don't like and what you choose not to deal with, and they will have to make a decision whether or not they're going to change. Some people bad habits, sometimes they are ready for change, and sometimes others they're not. They're not. They're not. I am Lady G from Transform Lives Podcast. I am live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram right as we speak. I am live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and I'm loving it, loving it, and loving it. So come on over to my side of town on the Facebook and join the group Transform Lives Podcast, Transform Lives Forever. Come on over there, and I am also recruiting for some guests to come on. I had a plethora of guests in 2024, and I'm looking forward for a lineup in 2025. If you have a business that you want to discuss, you can come on. If you're doing something for the community, because Transforming Lives is all about transforming one life, one day at a time. So this was given to me, um, birthed out of my belly from God, right? Who said to me, open up a platform for people who want to change the lives of others, or and that's merely simply things like I had a content creator. I had a TikTok content creator come on here. And people might say, well, how is she transforming her life? Well, one of the things is that she's doing some great things and she's building her platform to monetize. And there may be somebody out there who wants to do that. And that could be a transformation for them. They already been always been complacent in doing certain things, and now they want to change. And this may be an avenue they want to go to. So when she came on and told us what was her desire to be a content creator and how she's starting to monetize and how she's starting to do reviews for companies, this can help somebody else who was trying to go in that route. I had authors on here. I had community leaders on here. I had the Minister Sierra Walker from Dana's Daughters LLC on here, who's doing a lot of things for the community. These are things that I'm opening my platform for, so that we can get people out here uh, and open up things for the community, can do things for the community. I've had ministers on, I've had authors on, I've had small business, had Bree Paints on here, I've had Eric Holmes, Elder Eric Holmes on here. I had Ilona Allen on, who is a case manager but worked as a pediatric nurse for years, went on to be a case manager and is doing things for the community for impoverished children in the community outside of her job. So there was quite a few people on, and I'm looking forward to God blessing me and open up avenues for other folks to come on in 2025. And with that being said, I'm going to sign off a little early today because I'm getting a little congested. But it was a pleasure. It was definitely a pleasure to be on here tonight. I try to be on here every Wednesday, and I'm going to tell you this: I'm only coming on when God has allowed give me something to talk about, to share with the community, to share with the folks what He wants me to tell the folks. So it may not be every Wednesday that He give me something to say, but I'm going to put it out there to tune in every Wednesday, see if I'm up here, because I'm only going to be driven by what God has given me to tell the people. So if you want to go back and look at any of those scriptures that I put out there about dating, one is 2 Corinthians 6:14 and 15. Don't be teamed up with those who don't love the Lord. For what do the people of God have in common with the people of sin? How can light live with darkness? And what harmony could there be between Christ and the devil? How can a Christian be a partner with one who doesn't believe? And Amos 3:3 says, can two walk together unless they are agreed? Don't date someone who claims to be a Christian but doesn't live it. 1 Corinthians 5:11. What I meant was that you are not to keep company with anyone who claims to be a brother Christian but indulges in sexual sin, or is greedy, or is a swindler, or worship idols, or is a drunkard or abusive. Don't even eat lunch with such a person. Wow. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna Peter talks about be beautiful inside in your hearts with the lasting charm of a gentle and quiet spirit that is precious to God. That's your inner beauty. Date someone with a good attitude. Romans 15:5 and 6. May God, who gives patience, steadiness, and encouragement, help you live in complete harmony with each other, each with the attitude of Christ toward the other. Date someone who encourages you, and is supportive. It's in Philippians 2:1, chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. Is there any such thing as Christians cheering each other up? Do you love me enough to want to help me? Does it mean anything to you that we are brothers in the Lord, sharing the same spirit? Are your hearts tender and sympathetic at all? They make me truly happy by loving each other, working together with one heart and mind and purpose. Be exclusive, care about others. Philippians 2 and 4 says, don't just think about your own affairs, be interested in others too and in what they are doing. Let the relationship progress step by step. But Peter 1 6 says, next, learn to put aside your own desires so that you will become patient and godly. So we talked about those things, and those are the scriptures behind it. I hope to see you all another time. I hope to see you again um, soon and very soon. I hope to see you guys soon and very soon. Um, Hopefully, we'll see each other next Wednesday. Feel free to leave your comments here.